there, my friends. So today I want to just give you some little quick tips for making a great pot of chicken soup. I've had some people recently who say they're a little intimidated actually to pull off this very easy, economical dish for their family because they say either they don't know what quite to do, what to add to it, or when they've tried it in the past it's come out bland. So let's talk about this because I don't know about where you live, but it is pretty cold here, so we need something that can warm us from the inside out, give us a little bit of a thaw. So the first thing I know, you really want to make sure that you're using a flavorful cut of meat, okay? If you're not going to start off with a whole chicken for your soup, then you at least want to go with some chicken thighs. The ideal would be chicken thighs with the bone in and the skin on, but I'm going to be honest, for a busy mom like me and for some of you, taking meat off of the bones and all that, it is just like such a waste of time. So what I've done here is I've just picked up the boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I've just browned them on both sides. So you're really going to get some really nice meaty flavors. If you opt for chicken breast, I'm sorry, they just don't have enough flavor. That is going to give you a nice bland soup, okay? If you want to mix in a little chicken breast with your thighs, totally cool. So I threw a little oil in my all-purpose pot, browned them up, seasoned them with salt and pepper. They're totally awesome, okay? So the next little tip that I like to do for my soups is when I cut my vegetables, I like to use our crinkle cutter because by doing that, you actually get these really great ridges so that any seasonings you add in the pot, it actually gives a surface that could grab onto those seasonings. If it's a straight cut, they could more like just slide off. So, and it looks really, really cute. So, I mean, it's such a simple little tool, and I find it's really easy. You just rock it through, and you're all cut up in no time, okay? So, also, make sure that you're throwing in a little bit of onion. If your family doesn't really like onion, you can use our manual food processor to take it right down so that it's like mush, like they wouldn't even know, but it really gives it a good amount of flavor, okay? So we're actually just going to throw everything in the pot now. So there's my little chicken breast going on. I'm just going to throw in everything. I know some recipes tell you to do things in steps, but again, I'm a busy mom, so I'm just showing you how I cook, and I'll be honest, my soups come out pretty darn well. I'll clean that out in just a little bit. And then I do have some garlic here that I ran through our garlic press. We're going to throw that in. That was about like 3 cloves. So I did about 4 carrots, 3 celery stalks, 1½ onion, 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to throw in a couple little bay leaves. For my little novice cooks out there, look camera up at me. Novice cooks do not eat the bay leaves. They're not edible. Well, I mean they are, but they're nasty. They're just in there for flavor. So before you serve it, please pull them out, okay? I find the best price on bay leaves is if you go and you can find them like in a bulk food section, or find the part in your grocery store with the ethnic foods, and you can find them in a big old bag. It will save you a ton of money over if you get like the McCormick's or whatever. So I'm going to add a little bit of our Pampered Chef Italian seasoning, and a little trick that I like to do to make my spices go farther. I kind of eyeball half the amount that I need, and I pour it into my palm. And I'm going to treat my palm kind of like a mortar and a pestle. I'm going to take the fleshy side, and I'm just going to grind it down. By doing this, you're releasing more of those oils that are in your spices, so you get a burst of flavor, and you only have to use half the amount. So nice little time-saving trick. And now we're going to add 10 cups of chicken broth. I looked in my cupboards today and realized that I ran out of chicken broth. Sometimes I have some in the freezer, but I just don't. So I'm just doing, it was 10 cups of water with some bouillon cubes, okay? And that's a totally fine substitution, okay? So now look at that, my dears. This is the pride and joy in my kitchen right now, this all-purpose pot, because it packs a punch. I mean, we just added all that, and I still have room that if I wanted to add more to the pot, I totally could. So I wanted you to see this pot because I know in a couple of weeks there's some kind of big football game coming up. I'm really not a football person, but I guess there's like a Super Bowl, and some of you are going to be having parties. So my dears, this is what's going to happen the day before. I've heard it from many friends. You're hosting the party, and you're going to be making buffalo chicken wing dip and your famous chili. So the day before, what you do is you realize, oh no, you only have 1 crock pot, and you know you have to keep both of them warm. So now you have this big dilemma. What do? Do you put your chili in the crock pot and then let your buffalo chicken wing, dip go cold? Because once that goes cold, nobody is eating it. And what happens is you run in to microwave it off to reheat it for everyone, and that's when some big play happens during the game, and everyone's like, where were you? And you're like, I was heating up the dip. Well, hello, if you would have had a pot to put your chili in, your dip could have been in your crock pot, right? Or maybe you decide, you know what, I'll put my dip in the crock pot, and then you realize what you have to do next. You have to go into the bowels of your garage or your basement and dig out that ratty stock pot that only comes out once a year because it's your last resort. And I know what your ratty stock pot looks like. It's nasty, and anything you put in there you have to constantly stir because it's so poor quality. The stuff on the bottom is burning and the stuff on top is lukewarm. So what happens? You're tethered to your stove. So you're trying to watch the game while you're trying to stir your chili so nobody has to eat burnt chili, right? And then again, you miss the big play, and they're like, where were you? And you're like, I was stirring your chili. So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to let you use your crock pot for your dip, because that'll keep it nice and warm the whole time. You're gonna contact me, we're gonna get you your all-purpose pot, because my friends, with the even heat distribution with this, you can throw your chili in here, whip it off, it'll be amazing. And you never have to worry that anything's going to burn on the bottom. So once your chili's done, you can go put your buns on the couch and not move an inch. How does that sound? And if you want to give your friends the wow factor, cook off your chili and then scoop raw cornbread batter all over the top. Pop it in your oven to bake it off. And when everybody comes over and says, hey, what's under the cornbread? You're going to say, heaven, my friends, heaven. So back to our soup. I'm going to bring this up to a simmer. I'm going to let it go for about 30-45 minutes just to get some really good flavors going on. And once it's done, I'm going to grab our salad choppers. Many of you own those. If you haven't, you got to go check them out on my website. I'm going to plunge them in. I'm going to chop up all that chicken, and then I'm going to serve the soup to my family. This is how easy it gets. Get you some chicken thighs, throw some carrots, onions, celery, a couple bay leaves, a little salt and pepper to your taste, okay? Garlic, and 10 cups of chicken broth, and then at the very end you're just going to chop up the chicken with your salad choppers. So I hope this helped you all. Here's your challenge, my friends. If you want to get in on the raffle that I'm doing, what you need to do is underneath the post for this video, you need to put one thing you learned from today or that you liked from this video, and I am looking for a homemade noodle recipe because I want to add homemade noodles to my soup and I've never done it. So if you give me your homemade noodle recipe, I will enter your name in 2 more times for the drawing. You have until this Thursday, 10 o'clock at night, to post on this and get your recipes posted as well to be entered in the drawing. Thanks for watching.